What's the silliest way you can get laid? Story 1. A girl I met in class was lost for her next class. I showed her the way and got her number. You know, if she gets lost again. We parted for the day. She was pretty, so I ran the story to my roommate. My roommate decided to play a dumb joke by sending her a message saying I had already missed her. She texted her dorm address. She brought some food, but she wanted to do something else. That was it. Lol. Story 2. My friend was at the club, and he's the kind of guy who doesn't go to clubs. He saw a girl on the dance floor who liked her, and we all told him he should talk to her. He went down, and 10 minutes later, we saw him walking out of the club with the girl he liked. We were all shocked that he got a girl on the first try. The next day, we asked what had happened, and he told us that he had just complimented how good her belly button looked. We all laughed our asses off. Story 3. A woman at my job said that my feet were sexy. I was wearing sandals. I said, okay, thanks. Before our workday, she asked if I wanted to go to her place. I was sure, thinking this was just a social visit. We get to her place, and she says, you need to shower. I was like, okay. So I took a shower, and she stepped in as well. From there on, we had lovely sex. But she was indeed into feet and spent much time sucking my toes, which I learned that day did nothing for me. Story 4. A friend passed out at my house after a party. The following day, she asked to take a shower before I headed home. Sure. After the water ran, she was naked. She asked me to help her with the temperature. We're good friends. I had seen her naked before, which was odd, but I'm no prude. I helped her out. 2 minutes later, she asked if I had an extra toothbrush. She's still not in the shower yet. I hop to it and grab her one. She looks me square in my stupid face and says, so, do you want to have sex or not? I pause, look back at her, and gather myself. Me. Yep. Story 5. My buddy used to try to do this thing at the bar where he would dance his butt into girls in the hope that they'd start dancing with him. It never worked, even one time. But one time, I was standing on the edge of the dance floor, and he was trying to do it to this girl, and she grabbed onto me and pulled me into her and whispered in my ear, pretend to be my boyfriend, so that my friend would go away. So, my friend left, and I danced with her all night and then spent the rest of the weekend with her. Story 6. My friend introduced me to his friend, who was this hot atmosphere model. The girls who get paid by brands and clubs to go hang out in pools and parties to promote stuff. We never went on a date, and our texts were dry. She was not into me. She'd leave me on reading for days, then reply out of nowhere because she was bored, laugh my ass off. She'd make fun of me and be rude and then ghost me. Then, one night she texted me at like 3 a.m. And I had had enough. I was acting like her and being obnoxious. I was like, this isn't going to go anywhere, so I'm just going to be a dick like she always is to me. But for some reason, that did it for her. She came over and we had sex like I still have no idea how it even happened. Story 7. I walked up to an older woman in the bar and said, you look lonely. Can I sit here? After 2 quick drinks, she bought me a drink. We returned to her place for more drinks. Her friend was 15 minutes late and missed us. I ran out of condoms. It was probably some of the best sex in my life with the horniest girl. We did it like 8 times. I never got her number or anything, which is sad because I'd be back there every Sunday with wine and chocolate. If your name is Maria, this sounds like you hit me up. However, if your name is Maria and you have a 4-year-old, don't hit me up because I'll probably give you another. Story 8. I was at work and we had one of the higher up bosses on the floor answering questions and having some presentations. I wasn't paying attention. I was sitting in the back with my boss trying to listen, and 2 idiots were fucking around making jokes so that I couldn't hear anything. In a stern voice, I told them to fuck off and have some respect for the people who give a shit about this. One of my colleagues noticed this, and after work, we started saying she got wet when she heard me. So the next day after work, we were at my place. Man, that had to be the best sex I ever had. Story 9. I drove around a shopping center looking for a parking spot with my ridiculously handsome roommate. He spots an attractive woman in another car, and they make eye contact. Without a word, he jumps out of the car, runs to her car, and gets in. They drove away and out of the parking lot. Later, I arrived home and put my shopping away to the sound of some very passionate sex going on in his bedroom. So, if you want some dumb stories about getting laid, I'd go to him because I'm sure he has an endless supply. Story 10. In college, at a frat party, I once impressed a girl by being able to speak whatever language she asked me about pretty much on cue. In reality, I was mumbling noises in the most generic and stereotypical accents imaginable. No actual words, no sentences. Imagine many grunts, and slurred words in the worst possible accent. After about 4 exhibits of my multilingual prowess, she was so swooned, she just said she wanted to go back to her place. She kept talking about going traveling together. The only place we traveled to was Pound Town. Story 11. She was waiting for a taxi outside a club. Some random girl engaged me and asked if I wanted to see some pictures on her phone. She intentionally scrolls by all her nudes. My taxi pulled up, I grabbed her by the hand and said, "You're coming home with me." She smiled and politely got in the taxi and returned to mine. Story 12. I spent an entire movie with a girl who wasn't wearing pants because they got wet in the rain on the way to my place, but she didn't make a move. I returned to her place and she finally just asked me, "So, you want to get laid or what?" Story 13. She lost her friends and was from out of town. I told her without any intentions, although we kissed at the bar, she could stay at my place. When I got her a mattress, she pushed me onto it and started undressing me. Boy, how clueless am I? The following day we woke up in my bed, both clothed. Very strange. Story 14. I spent the evening jokingly pretending to be Irish and married to an utterly non-Irish lady in the smoker's corner. Many jokes were had. She put her arms around my shoulders and said, "Take me home, Patty, and show me that you love me." So I did. Story 15. I was playing flip cup at a party and this girl couldn't flip her cup. So she exclaims, "Fuck me." So out of frustration, and as my immature self would often do with girls, I said, "I volunteer as tribute." Afterward, we flirted for a bit and ended up borrowing a bedroom at the house party. It had never worked before. I didn't expect anything to come of it, and it never worked again. Story 16. I played FIFA when I was in college. My one roommate had a girl he was friends with over with a few other friends. I just got back from a party and wanted to play FIFA. This girl just kept talking to me the entire time I was playing. In the end, I asked her if she'd like to sleep in my room. She was on the fence, but my other roommate sold her how awesome I was. Story 17. I was at the beach with some friends for one of my friend's B-Day. He brought a friend with him. And after a day at the beach, we all wanted to head home and shower and change. So I asked my friend if I could shower at his place since he lives close to the beach. The girl jumped in and said, "You can shower at my place if you want." Story 18. I was at a friend's birthday party and there were no accessible seats. The girl stands up and goes outside. I take her chair and she comes inside again and tells me she just sat there. I tell her she can sit on my lap and she says yes and sits down on me twice. Story 19. We were at a bar with some uni people. I asked the girl I knew where she was going after. After she said she was going with some guy, I said, "No, you're coming with me." Honestly, no effort from my side. Story 20. Walking home from a night out, a girl shouted at me from across the street, "Do you want to come over to see my rabbit?" She did have a pet rabbit called Monster. I saw it, we banged, and I left. Feel free to leave your stories in the comments. I'd love to make a video of them. And don't forget to like and subscribe.